Obviously, this is just a broad, sweeping, generalized statement. I know that not every male is like that, and I thank you, who the ones that are respectful and kind people. You guys rock. But it's it is it's I know it gets me kind of emotional. Like I just
Hello, everyone. My name is Lee Ngo, and welcome to Educative Sessions. Educative Sessions is a podcast series with people in the developer world about their coding experiences. And Educative makes it easy for authors to provide interactive and adaptive courses for software developers. Today, my guest is Angel Mero, who is a community manager with Seattle Indies. And today, we're going to talk about some pretty personal topics for her, including her experiences working in the video game industry as both a half Asian person and a woman as well. Angel, welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So, Angel, I've known you for actually, if you can believe it, we've known each other for like about 3, 4 years, I want to say. Uh,
Yeah, I'd
is
say
that
so.
right? Yes. And
Yeah.
you've been very much involved in the gaming industry for some time, especially in community building. But what first drew you to this industry, and why have you been particularly interested in the world of building community?
Yeah, that's a great place to start, explaining how I got into the industry. But just a quick disclaimer, these are all my personal experiences and opinions and feelings. So back in 2016, I was asked to help community manage an indie or independent studio, and I basically knew nothing about community management. I literally had to Google, what do community managers do,
Yep.
so that I could learn more about what my role would look like. The team broke up, but it was a fun experience while it lasted. But it turns out community management is a lot more complex than people realize.
Mhm.
So props to you.
No, I mean, yeah, we met at a DevRel conference, I believe, and most of us are just making it up as we go along, right?
Yeah.
Like I did the exact thing. It's like, so what do I do in my job? And for the most part, it's been wonderful just finding resources of people and discovering what is truly valuable within those industries. And you wanted to actually talk about some very bold things, and yes, they are your opinions. So as someone who identifies as a woman and also as someone who is half Asian, you've maybe felt that your experiences within the gaming community is different from most. So let's talk a little bit more about that. What have your experiences been like in general, and if you can raise some particular examples, that'd be great.
Yeah, so I've been a gamer my whole life. Um, I wanted to say that I fit right in with the indies. Um, we are a such an inclusive community that no one's judgmental. And as a female gamer, I did get a lot of harassment, and I still do when people find out that I'm female. Um, I know that there's sexism in the major companies. It's getting better slowly but surely. Uh, we make sure everyone in the community follows our code of conduct. We've only had to kick out a few people who haven't followed them, but overall, everyone is super welcoming and kind. But on that topic, it's not so much being Asian as it is being female. Since I'm half and I look mostly white, I would say that I've experienced some white privilege and have been grateful that I haven't experienced any discrimination. Um, I went to an event called Steam Dev Days. Steam is a video game publishing platform, and I noticed a huge lack of diversity. Obviously, it is getting better, but at the time, I just saw a huge sea of white heads that were mostly mid 30s white males. Um, I was all the way in the back, and I remember just seeing like hundreds of people in front of me, and I was just like, I need to take a picture of this. This is crazy. The after party, we had there was a huge line wrapped around the men's bathroom, uh, and the women's bathroom was completely empty. That's the first time I've ever seen a women's bathroom empty,
Mhm.
especially at an event. I know you guys who identify as female know exactly what I'm talking about. Women's bathrooms are always packed, always packed. I got flack online from saying that I was intimidated by events that are full of men. because as a gamer, I grew up getting harassed by a lot of people for being female, and there's I know that there are people out there who genuinely want to have conversation, but it's sometimes hard to judge if they have an ulterior motive. Um,
Yeah. And let's talk a little bit more about that, because I mean, for a lot of the things you're sharing, honestly, are very disheartening. Like the lack
yeah.
of diversity, and you've talked a little bit about getting better, but if you can, I think it's important for people to hear what it's like in for someone in your position to perhaps experience these spaces of discomfort, and to help people identify when they might arise in the future.
Yeah. So my goal here in general is to just to bring awareness about the sexism and discrimination in the gaming industry. Um, but I want everyone to know that the Seattle Indies the complete opposite. Like we are so awesome and amazing. Um, Sexism is actually quite prevalent, unfortunately, in the game industry. Um, what you were asking how people would recognize
Right, right. I
the
guess,
sexism?
right, in a way. I mean, and of course, if you're not comfortable getting into too much details, I respect that. It's more along the lines of, as a community manager, maybe we should make it more about that. You've had to perhaps come down on those who are, not doing things that are appropriate, maybe doing things that are qualified as harassment, either towards you or towards other people in your community. Uh, can you first explain, like, why does this kind of behavior exist, and then also, especially in your community with Seattle Indies, how is that being so well regulated so that you don't experience these kind of things normally?
So we have a team of volunteers at the Seattle Indies that they go to all of the events. They participate in everything, and they make sure to really make sure everyone follows the rules. Like I said before, there have only been a few people who have been kicked out, um, but for the most part, we are really good about making sure everyone follows the rules. We even have groups. Someone named August is somebody in the Indies that made a diversity collective group to ensure that everyone feels inclusive and welcome.
Hmm.
I would I would like to share a story from somebody who works in the AAA industry because I I haven't really had to experience sexism specifically in the Seattle Indies that I community manage because we've been so good about it. Uh, but for this person, they worked in the AAA industry, and it's it is disheartening, just like you said. So she worked for a few AAA companies and had to deal with a lot over the years. She was promoted instead of someone else, and the guy ended up getting so upset that he would insult her and her race, even, and her mom, and complained about any assignment that she would give him. She also had to deal with unprofessional and inappropriate jokes and flirting toward her over the years. Um, I do not think this is okay. And if anyone thinks it is okay, then you're part of the problem because it's really, just like I said, it is prevalent in the gaming industry. Um, there's there was actually a class action lawsuit, I think back in 2019. Um, Things like the Me Too movement really helped to give women the confidence to speak up. There was a lawsuit against Riot, which is a very large gaming company, for sexual harassment and discrimination. And it's, I'm just at a loss of words. Like,
Yeah, sure.
we've definitely been moving in the right direction for social change, but there is a lot more improvement that we can make in all aspects.
Hmm. Hmm. And I want to get narrow down to the work that you've done with Seattle Indies, and to use that as perhaps a microcosm for the kinds of things that need to change on a larger scale. So, what have you done to ensure that there are little to no incidences like these and to make sure that your community feels safe, regardless of what gender or what race they are.
Yeah, just I said before we have groups and like the diversity collective for minorities. We have volunteers, and I mean it's really hard when your community starts to grow to really watch what everybody says all the time, especially since I run the Discord. And it's that's why it's really nice having a bunch of volunteers and people to really watch and make sure that people are not saying or being sexist or discriminating or anything like that.
Yeah.
And I mean, I want to say that the people who join the indies are really cool. Like, just their personalities are really awesome, and that helps too. Like, if um, we all surround each other with other respectful people that share common interests, and it makes it a lot easier to manage because they're we just don't have to deal with it usually.
Wonderful. Yeah. This has been very eye opening, and it's really nice to know that uh, while there's a lot of work to be done, especially in this regard, and I think like more disheartening is that there's still a lot within these communities that defend the right to act in such toxic ways. That communities like you, excuse me, communities like yours and people like you are very much proactively trying to abate a lot of that and to carve out some place and to carve out a culture that is well admired. So we've come to the end, at least the lines of questioning that I have for you. I would love for you, if you're comfortable, to do a shameless plug of sorts of anything you'd like. I think we've talked a lot about Seattle Indies, so if there's something else you might be working on, or if there's some cause or project that you're passionate about, really the floor is yours, Angel.
Okay. Would it be okay if I just continue to talk about just the topic we were on?
You know what? I'm gonna say sure. I think it's important to get as much information as possible, and really, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Yeah, it is. It is really important, and it's so there was an event the other day, and there was one of the hosts was a female, and she gave her character and server information, and my stomach sank. I The first thing that I thought of was how she's going to be relentlessly harassed, and she'll have to probably change her character name and transfer servers because I've dealt with so much harassment throughout my life that it just becomes expected behavior. And it's actually more surprising when you're not being harassed or hit on.
Hmm.
And obviously, this is just a broad, sweeping, generalized statement. I know that not every male is like that. And I thank you, who, the ones that are respectful and kind people, you guys rock. But it's, it is, it's, I know it gets me kind of emotional. Like I just, when your emotions start taking over, then yeah, you're like your logic goes out the window. I was just like, oh, I'm losing
Well,
my focus.
right. If I may, like it's fascinating that just this mere revealing of information about yourself, codified as female, is enough to be such a lightning rod for harassment, right?
Mm,
While if anyone else, if like a cis male, etc., were to release that information, it might not really be a blip. But if that is already enough of an issue, right, then it's more than apparent, right? Anyone that says it like gender inequality and discrimination and what have you isn't happening because of the simple like stark differences in the experiences, then like they are completely glib about what's really going on, right? So and I think what's important is the emotions that you're feeling are valid to me, and they are what matter the most, right? Like the point of games is to have fun. The point of games is to bring people together. And if we can't do
right.
that, right? If we can't come together and enjoy that because of people who just want to spoil the party for, usually selfish or greedy reasons, then it's why community managers exist and why codes of conduct exist, right? And why
Exactly.
it's unfortunate that they have to, but My hope is that I hope that like community managers do more fun things than like regulate all the time. I hope that they create and cultivate wonderful experiences across the board. It shouldn't have to be like we shouldn't be policing like people's experiences and having fun, right?
Mhm. And that's why I'm so grateful for the indies because I really don't feel like I do have to police them. And we do require everyone to accept the code of conduct and the rules before they enter the community through social media, Discord, etc.
Of course, of course. Yeah, so we have definitely come to the end. Angel Mero, I want to thank you so much for really talking about an important issue within the community and being so open and vulnerable about sharing your own experiences and the experiences of others, and being such a vanguard as well. I think that's an important thing. And I want to thank everyone else for either listening or watching this session. You can check out more of our content on YouTube or on our Podbean channel and on major podcasting apps. And finally, if you want to learn a little bit more about Educative, check us out at educative.io. So, for all of us here at Educative, thank you so much and happy learning. Bye bye now. Hope you enjoyed that. This episode is available on YouTube and also on many podcast platforms. If you'd like to be part of Educative Sessions, the form is open now to apply. You can also email me at lee@educative.io. Lastly, don't forget to like and comment this video and be sure to subscribe to our channel for more content. Thank you so much for watching and happy learning.